record, and we're good to go. Maybe. Depends on if I find the right document, and that's not it. So let's do this again. Don't get old, guys. I'm gonna have a hard time seeing the screen, right? All right, can you see that? We good to go?
Yep. Yep.
All right, so we're starting at think big. Think big, focus small simply means to set big goals and then focus on the activities. Focus on 20 contacts every day, one conversation at a time. So hyper focus, the next conversation. My goal is to sell 36 homes. In order to do that, I'm going to sell 18 listings. In order to do that, I'm going to take 24 listings. In order to do that, I'm going to go on 48 listing appointments. Now, how do I go on 48 listing appointments? The next conversation. That's focus small. So think big, focus small. Gary Keller would say, what's the one thing that I could do such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? And my answer would be 20 conversations a day. Okay, so by focusing on the activities versus the results, you will always succeed. And if you are always successful, you will not give up. And you will always succeed because it's a choice. You choose whether or not you're going to have 20 conversations. Put another way, are you in control of the activities? The answer is yes.
Yes.
And all of the time. And all of this white space in the middle here, so I do cover it in the book. By the way, we're on page 16 of 71. And I know the part you guys are most interested in is when I get to scripts. And here's my promise to you. If you're on the call, you have to be on the call. And I get a list of everybody who's on the call that day, by the way, just so you know. If you're on the call that day, I'm going to copy, paste, and email you the scripts from that day. Because I know that's the part you're most interested in. And I do cover in this space here in the middle, which we're not talking about today, that there will be days that you don't get 20 contacts in. There'll be days that you don't get any contacts in. However, over time, if you make up for what you miss, in other words, if you erase, you must replace. So if I take lead generation off my schedule because I had something else to do, like Alex did yesterday, then I have to replace it somewhere else. If I only make 15 contacts today, then I have to make 25 contacts tomorrow. So by saying that you're always going to get 20 contacts in, I don't mean every day. What I mean is over time, it's a choice. All right. I promise you that with consistent and persistent follow-up, success is 100% guaranteed. So there you go. We're back to that again. Success is in the follow-up. Okay, so accountability and coaching. What gets measured gets done. If I'm taking notes, that's something I'm writing down. What gets measured gets done. Think of accountability as having a workout partner that you meet at the gym at 6 a.m. in the morning. If we have a workout partner that's going to meet us at the gym at 6 a.m., chances are pretty good we're going to show up because we know somebody's counting on us. In contrast, if we set a goal of working out every morning by ourselves at 7 a.m., unless you have tremendous willpower and drive, or there is a great pain driving you to go, you're going to roll over and go back to sleep. Yes or yes?
Yes.
Yes, you will. Absolutely. If success is 90% how we think and 10% skill, shouldn't coaching focus on 90% on how we think? Yeah, of course it should. Gary Keller, author of The Millionaire Real Estate Agent and founder of Keller Williams Realty, the #1 real estate company in the world, said that as leaders, our job is to teach our people how to think differently. And that is going to be our greatest advantage over our competition. Have you gotten a listing in the last 90 days because you thought differently? Have you got a property under contract in the last 90 days because you thought differently? In other words, did you get an offer that was $30,000 or $40,000 under the asking price, and the way you used to think was, oh, that's an awful offer, it'll never come together. And now your thought is, I'm going to work this offer. Everything has an opportunity. Everything is an opportunity, and every offer is a great offer. Matter of fact, this offer is better than the one I had yesterday because I didn't have an offer. So I'm thinking differently, and I got the deal done.
Yeah, that happened to me, John.
Mm-hmm.
I took significantly less money to get something under contract, thinking to myself, and this is something that I've learned obviously over time, that the relationship will be more important than this one transaction,
Mm-hmm.
which will lead to further transactions.
Mm-hmm. So you got a deal under contract that maybe somebody else wouldn't, Michael, because somebody else is attached to the money, and therefore they wouldn't have put that deal together. But because you thought differently, you got the deal done. Yep, that's your greatest advantage. All right.
I also like, John, what you said earlier. I think it adds a lot of clarity, and it probably is important to repeat, right? Think big, but focus small. Simply means to set big goals and then focus on the 20 contacts, one conversation at a time. That's huge.
Huge. Yeah.
Great.
For those of you who know about my Boca to Key West walk, how am I getting there? Don't say walk. Don't do that. How am I getting there? Somebody answer the question.
One step at a time.
One step at a time, and
Focus.
what? Focus.
In chunks.
And
Well, you're breaking it down into smaller sections, so it's easier for you to accomplish that very big task, John. That's why.
there you go, Dylan. So what I did is I looked at my calendar and I said, if I walk every Sunday, it'll take me approximately 40 weeks, 1 day per week, walking 10 miles every Sunday. And in 40 weeks, I'll be in Key West. Think big, focus small. I'm getting there 10 miles at a time, which is what Dylan said. I broke it down into chunks. By the way, it's easy. Not only is it easy, it's fun. Okay. All right, so starting out, get an accountability partner to hold you accountable to the activities of lead generation. The best way to do this is to have a partner who lead generates with you. So I know we're still in COVID lockdown. I know that most people are still working from home. I'd go as far as paying one of my kids, Elsa, to sit there and watch me make calls and hold me accountable to 20 conversations. In other words, don't let mommy get out of this chair until I've had 20 conversations.
Love it.
Right?
And we feel very bad when the children has to spy on us.
Whatever it takes. Now, if you have the opportunity to be in the same room lead generating with other people, not only are you creating accountability, you're creating energy and momentum. It's one of the reasons why in our office, I love what you guys refer to as the bullpen, where all the cubicles are. I love that area because everybody feeds off each other's energy. When the Dietz team was selling real estate, our office was approximately, 15 feet wide by 20 feet long. And we had 8 people in there making calls. We were on top of one another, making calls every morning. We were accountable to one another. We showed up because we knew everybody else was going to be there. We had the opportunity to listen to each other make calls. We fed off of each other's energy. Now, if I went to the office and I was in lead generation all by myself, maybe I'm going to do it. Maybe I'm not. Okay. All right. So why aren't more real estate professionals calling for sell by owners? The most common reasons include for sell by owners are unrealistic. They are not motivated. They are already getting calls from hundreds of other real estate agents. These are the conversations we have in our head. This is what your drunk monkey is programmed to tell you. They are mean and will yell at me. I like that one. If they list their home, they probably have someone that they're already going to hire. They're not willing to pay my normal fee. These are all the reasons we give ourselves for not calling for sell by owners. By the way, are some of these things true? Yes, they are. Are they always true? No, they're not. Focus on your success, not your failures. If I'm talking to 20 for sell by owners, let's just say it's a 4 sell by owner day. Cool. And I'm talking to 24 sell by owners a day, and I'm getting 2 appointments, that means I failed 18 times. I also succeeded twice. Now, if I'm going on 2 appointments, if I'm going on those 2 appointments and I do that every day of the week, that's 10 appointments. If I do that over a month and I'm working 20 days, that's 20 appointments. If I did that all year long, that's 240 appointments. If 10% of them hired me, that's 24 listings. How many of you would go on 2 for sell by owner appointments a day for 24 listings at the end of the year? Yes or no?
Me.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. And you failed 90% of the time. Now, the agents who focus on the 90% will stop making the calls. I'm going to say that again because it's important. The agents who focus on the 90% failure will stop making the calls. Tom Hopkins quote, my favorite Tom Hopkins quote, we are not judged by the number of times we fail, but by the number of times we succeed. And the number of times we succeed is in direct proportion to the number of times we could fail and keep trying. Want me to say it again?
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to do it anyways. We are not judged by the number of times we fail, but but by the number of times we succeed. And the number of times we succeed is in direct proportion to the number of times we could fail and keep trying. Okay, all of the above reasons may be true and none of them matter. Why not? Because 75% of for sell by owners will eventually hire a professional like you. This is mindset, how we think.
Expense.
This is a mindset, how we think conversations. I think there's a typo in there. Go back to the previous section. What percent of success is how we think? If I buy into any of the myths listed above, will I be successful? No. And from 2002 until 2014, I listed an average of 10 homes every month, with 25 to 50% of those coming from for sell by owners, depending on the market. Now, what depending on the market means is there were times where expireds were a greater percentage of my listings because of the market we were in. In other words, between 2008 and 2012, there weren't too many for sell by owners. When only 5% of the listing inventory is selling every month in the market, for sell by owners go away. You guys hear that?
Mhm.
All right. All right, so let's break it down. Step 1, daily habit of searching for sell by owners. Start with what Zig Ziglar calls eagle eye prospecting. Eagle eye prospecting simply means you're in your car, you're driving around, and you're looking for sell by owners. You're writing down the address and you're writing down the phone number. Now, you could go knock on the door, and I didn't. I always called. And I want you to be intentional. In other words, I want you to add this to your daily activity and go out and do this on purpose. Or if you have an appointment, leave early and allow yourself to drive the neighborhood and eagle eye prospect. And the reason I want you to start with eagle eye prospecting is because if I'm a for sell by owner, I'm going to start by putting a sign in my front yard. before I put my home in on any online service, I'm just going to go stick a sign in my yard. And if you make this a habit, you're going to see, in other words, if you're driving the same neighborhoods, you're going to see new for sale by owner signs, and that's going to give you an opportunity to call them early, meaning you're calling them before they're getting calls from other real estate agents. And because you're calling them early in the process, they're going to be more agreeable to meeting with you.
John, question?
Yep.
Additionally, if you're driving in the neighborhood doing your eagle eye prospecting, do you also consider that an advantage because you're looking at the neighborhood and getting a better opportunity to have that conversation with them?
Yeah.
Would you spend the time to actually do some research on what the houses in that area are worth before you?
A little bit. Yeah. Not a whole lot, Alex. And the reason I'm emphasizing that is because some people are stuck in paralysis by analysis. And when it comes to ready, aim, fire, I want to be careful that I don't encourage you to be ready, aim, fire.
That's one of my biggest problems.
Yeah.
Hey, John, can I chime in on that? I think that's 100% fantastic. We use Vulcan 7 when we're calling our for sale by owners, and we've done that in the past by, calling for sale by owners that they have a sign in front. But what we have found out is in majority of those scenarios, or in a lot of those scenarios, these people are not listed on Zillow. They're not in Vulcan 7. So this is, this is extra opportunity for us to call where there's less competition. Hopefully that makes sense.
Oh, it totally makes sense. That was what I was trying to say, Corey, and you just said it so much better than I did. Thank you. Guys, I want you to look up here and I want you to see this. From now on, those signs do not say for sale by owner. They say help wanted. These people need your help. I was driving in the neighborhood today and I noticed your sign. It looks like you're selling your home by owner. And just curious, if I had an offer on your home, would you want me to bring you the offer? So simple. So simple. I was driving in your neighborhood today and I noticed your home is for sale by owner. It looks like you're selling your home by owner. Just out of curiosity, if I had an offer on your home, would you want me to bring you the offer? I don't want to list my home. Cool. I want to help you sell your home. And if I had a full price offer on your home, would you want me to bring you the offer? Yes. Cool. That's exactly why we should get together. It'd only take me 10 or 15 minutes to pop by. Translation, it's going to be a short visit so that I could take a look at your home and potentially bring you an offer. Does 2 o'clock today work, or would 3 tomorrow be better for you? 2 o'clock, but I'm never listing my home. Cool. See you at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock, but if I ever list my home, I'm only paying 1%. Awesome. See you at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock, but if I ever list my home, I'm listing with Elsa Rosenberg. Awesome. See you at 2 o'clock. Are you guys clear?
Yeah.
Any questions?
Nope.
Cool. You know, it's interesting because somebody will come to me and they'll go, but I'm like, no, there is no but. The purpose of the call is to get an appointment, period, the end. All right. If you focus on results and don't pay attention to the activities, you will be tempted to give up if you are not hitting your goals. If you set a daily standard, it's not a goal, it's a standard, which means if you don't do it, you're fired. If you set a daily standard, not a goal, for calls and contacts and always hit your standard, you will eventually hit your goals. For appointments, listings taken, contracts written, sales closed, and it all starts with calls and contacts. Tomorrow, we're going to pick up on go on appointments. All right, talk to me.
John?
Yes.
I always said to everybody that if you got into the door and you were dressed professional and you showed up on time, 50% you already got the listing.
I agree with that. Yeah. On the ones who were on the listings you're going to get, Eddie, it's important that we make sure that people know if you go on 10 for sale by owner appointments, your goal over time is to list 2 of them.
Mhm.
Okay.
I
Okay,
like.
Go
Sorry.
ahead.
I heard Elsa first.
I wanted to say one thing for the new agent as well. When I was a new agent and I had to call, I was very afraid of having rejection, having people yelling at me. And I like the idea of things big and focus small and focus on your activity. And it doesn't matter what's the response, but just going and having those conversations. And I like that because I think that you stay positive and you understand that it's not important how somebody hang out on you, but the conversation that you did.
Love it. Thank you, Elsa. Yeah.
You made a comment that is a new comment for me that I wrote down. Think big, focus small. And again, leading by example, your Key West trek is a perfect example.
Yeah. That might be why I'm doing it. I still haven't figured out why I'm doing it, Alex, but maybe that'll be my answer from now on.
I thought you lost some weight.
Well, that's why I started walking. But the Key West trip was, I still don't know.
And it was after watching Forrest Gump.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. I just felt like walking. All right, come on, guys, talk to me. Ahas, what did you hear? What are you going to implement? What's going to change? My goal every day with these calls is not only to encourage you to get into activity, not only to motivate you and encourage you to keep going, it's also to give you something. If it's one thing that you can implement into your business that's going to help you make more money, if we could put a price tag on today's call, what's it worth? Now, don't answer that question. I'm not looking for an answer on what's the call worth. I want you to ask yourself that. What's the value that you're going to get from today's call?
I think this is a value point, not just from this call, but a lot of the calls, is not to prejudge any opportunity that's ahead of you. I'm not going to pay, 3%. My best friend's a realtor. All of that doesn't matter, right? You're prejudging those opportunities.
Yep. That's not easy to do. It's not, because success is simple, not easy. We don't want to, but we are just pulled like a magnet towards give up based on what we're hearing. And you have to push through those myths and distractions and don't judge opportunity away.
Hey, John.
Yes. Hi, Cindy.
Hey. I was reading the book Untethered Soul, and it was talking about the opportunity to stay open and not close, whether it's your heart or your mind, and how stuff triggers. And I was thinking about, my tendency often to focus on the successes. And so I loved your point about just reminding that, again, there's 90% people that maybe aren't ready for your help, but the ones you get, you can't get if you don't stay open to that. And again, I think myself, I can speak is I'm very much a connector in people. And so it's separating that process and just keeping the open mind and the open heart is, the better I do that, the more times I'm willing to step up and ultimately be vulnerable, whatever vulnerable is. But there was an interesting line in there that said, the sun shines the same on all people. And so the point is that the opportunity is the same. It's just, again, do we make excuses or close ourselves to those options? So thank you for that.
That was awesome. Thank you. And Cindy, you gave me a perfect opportunity to tie a bow on today's call. So for those of you who have taken Bold, you're familiar with Point FAR. So here's how Point FAR works. Programming, way up here above your head.
Mhm.
Programming leads to thoughts. Thoughts lead to feelings. Feelings lead to actions. Actions lead to results. And results lead back to programming. And this can be a good thing, and it can be a challenge. And for a lot of us, programming has been negative. And when we hear rejection because of our programming, our feeling could be they're rejecting me. They don't like me. I'm not likable. I'm not cut out to do this. Feelings lead to actions. Give up. Give up leads back to programming, which is, I'm no good. People don't like me. I'm not likable. You have to reprogram.
Mm-hmm.
You have to reprogram. It's important. And reading books like The Untethered Soul is a great way to reprogram. It's so important. Programming leads to thoughts. Thoughts lead to feelings. Feelings lead to actions. Actions lead to results. Get this down. Get this down at a high level so that you understand how important this is, because it's critically important to your success. And all of us, every single one of us, is broken at some level. Nobody is above that. Everybody's dealing with some negative programming that you need to reprogram. All right, guys. It's Wednesday. Make it a great day. Get on the phone, start making those contacts. Think big, focus small. At the end of the day, how do you win the day? Have 20 conversations. Come from generosity. Lead with gratitude. Focus on serving others. Focus on providing a better experience for the people that you are in life with. Don't focus on how much money you're going to make. Don't focus on how many deals you're going to do. It's the wrong focus. Change the way you look at things. Things you look at change. And when you come from contribution, more comes back to you. Whatever you send out comes back to you tenfold. Go make it a great day.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
John.
Yes. I'm still here.